wow, that thing looks unbelievable. That's fully aired out right there. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're gonna get back to work on the 49 Chevy. I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I actually made a whole video that I wasn't able to upload about installing the transmission crossmember, which I don't know if I'll be able to save it or not. I don't think so. So I'm just gonna give you guys a close-up shot of what I got done, and we'll just continue from there. And hopefully if I can fix that other old video, I'll post it for you guys, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to, but I'll keep you guys posted on whether or not I can. But let me turn you around. I'll show you what we got done on the chassis. All right, so you guys can see the new transmission cross members installed. Got all that old original structure out of here from where the master cylinder used to sit, and just the whole body mounts and everything that went across. All that stuff's gone. See, it's much cleaner now. And you guys can kind of see how I did the transmission cross member here. I welded in a 1/4 inch thick plate steel back here, and then I drilled it out and tapped it to the 3/8/16 bolts. So now we can bolt in the transmission cross member and unbolt it when I need to service the transmission. So those 3 bolts and the thing will just knock backwards. It's pretty easy, straightforward. Wasn't very hard, but if you guys are wondering how to do yours or how you were gonna try to do a cross member in this for the trans, this is basically about as budget friendly as you can get. This was a Speedway Motors cross member. I think I spent like 65 bucks on it, and it's an energy suspension trans mount, and I think that was like 20 bucks. So I got about $80, less than 100 bucks in this whole setup, and it was pretty easy to install and definitely stout. It's definitely a nice thick metal, thick bar, definitely overkill for what I need there. And then as you guys can see, we got almost all the chassis painted and most of the suspension components on the back painted, which look a lot better. I got the center section painted. I did not paint the axle tubes because I haven't welded in the lower axle brackets fully, because I want to wait till I get the body back on it. And then if I have to, I can cut those tacks loose and adjust my pinion angle still. I mean, I got the panhard bar bracket welded on there, but I mean, it would be a lot harder to uncut full welds on the brackets and the panhard if I had to, which I'm pretty sure I'm good, but it's just better safe than sorry. I'll wait till I get the body on it, and then we'll go in and fully weld these and finish painting those axle brackets. But yeah, you guys can see the whole setup. These came out great. All this did. Super happy with it. Looks phenomenal. Give you a shot of the whole thing. Looks sweet. Front and back are now fully adjustable. Completely done. So in this video, I'm going to try to put the body back on the chassis. That's pretty much what I got to do next, which it's definitely not going to just drop on here, especially now that we have this giant step notch in here and all the airbags and everything. That is not going to fit in the trunk area, so we're going to have to cut out a huge section of the trunk. And also this transmission and cross member and all this 4L60 is way bigger and beefier than what was in that thing, and that transmission tunnel is way too small. And I know I had the engine and trans in the chassis with the body on it already, but since I put this transmission cross member in, I actually raised the transmission up a good inch and a half, and it was already tight up on the top of this. So I know now it's not gonna fit at all. So we're basically gonna have to cut out pretty much this whole section from here down. All this tunnel is gonna have to get cut out to fit that trans up in there. And on top of that, when you lay the chassis out, this trans tunnel is way too low profile. I mean, look at it right here. There's barely a bump there. So if you guys are planning on doing this project, just know that you're cutting out all this all the way back, and then all this is getting cut out too. back in the trunk. I don't know if you guys can see back here if there's enough light. Yeah, so all that transmission tunnel and this whole shelf right here is getting cut out. So it's quite a bit of the floor that you have to clear out and refabricate floorboards in, which for me, that's not going to be an issue. I might actually get the car running and drive it with the full suspension back here wide open. I don't know. It'll be easy to make sheet metal covers for this back here. And then up there, it's just, you're just going to have to bend sheet metal and weld it back in, make your own trans tunnel. Or they do offer some universal transmission tunnel humps and kits that you can make work that connect to the firewall and come down. They have way more of a slope here. I mean, this one is just so low. You can see there's no room for that transmission in there. But yeah, give you guys a shot of the interior here. Dashboard of this car is really nice. Everything is. I mean, these are the original floorboards and they are not rotted by any means. For 1949, this car definitely got taken care of. The story is it was stored in a garage since the 80s, a heated garage from 20, 30 years, so it wasn't out in the elements rotting away. So next we're going to get this cradle out from under the car and raise the hoist up and roll that chassis underneath it. And I'm going to lower the body down and just start seeing where it's going to make contact, and then I'm just going to cut the floorboards out till the thing fits. So that's what we'll do next. All right, so the first thing that I'm noticing that's hitting, that's not gonna clear, is the step notch in the rear and the spare tire holder on this side. this whole spare tire box has to go. So I'm going to get from underneath, I'm going to go and just cut it even with the top of the trunk pan. Eliminate that. And then I'm going to start marking exactly how much I'm going to cut out of the shelf. But it pretty much looks like the shocks are about hitting where the bottom of that floor pan goes across. So pretty much when I'm looking at it, this whole shelf right there has to come out all the way around, as well as the spare tire holder. That's all got to come out. So I guess that's the next move. Other than that, everything up front looks like it's lining up and clearing fine so far, but obviously I know that transmission's not gonna seat. But you can see here, this body mount is lining up with this one here, and we got about 2.5, 3 inches of drop still that has to come down before the body will seat. So, yep, the next move is to get all that trunk cut out, and then we can go from there and see how much of the transmission tunnel is going to get trimmed out. So it's time to hack and cut. All right, you guys, we got a large section of the trunk pan cut out, as you can see there. You can see the step notch, pan hard bar, all that down in there. So this is just the first cut. Obviously the spare tire cover had to go. It hung down way too low. Started colliding with that bag up front. So pretty much almost the whole trunk pan is almost needing to get cut out. But I am going to leave this section for now through here, because the fuel cell or fuel tank has to actually sit up in this trunk. It has to be above the frame rails down there. Can't sit below like it used to. It would just be way too close to the ground. And eventually we might end up just cutting all this out and running new bars across, fabbing up a whole new rear trunk pan structure. I don't know yet. Right now, all I want to do is get it just clearanced enough to put the body back on, and then I can deal with that later. So you can kind of see my next cut here that needs to happen. We got to cut down here and across, because it's still interfering with the shocks right there and the upper cross member. So that'll be our next cut. We're going to cut this section out and all this across. And then after that, it should be pretty close to lowering all the way down. We'll see. So next I'll get that cut out. Well, there it is, you guys. We finally got most of the trunk area cut out to where the body's sitting back on the frame. There's definitely still a little bit more I got to cut out of the trunk area for the body to relax at like another 3 inches. Which is hard to believe looking at how low it sits right now. You guys can see how much of the trunk area we had to cut out for it to do that. And you can see where the step notch is now sitting up in the car. But you can also see down here that there's another 3 inches I got to cut. It's hitting right up there, right in front of the step notch where the seat pan is. I got to trim a little bit more in those corners. And you can see back here how low the frame sits under there. So there's still quite a bit of trimming I got to do, and it's going to sit about 3 inches lower in the back. I mean, pretty much going to have the quarter panel and most of that rocker sitting right on the ground once I fully trim that out. But man, it looks sweet already. It's not even all the way there. Holy crap. This thing's going to be laid out just like I wanted it to. The front sits a little bit higher, but I've noticed on these cars when they're bagged, if they're not body dropped, the fronts always sit a little bit higher than the back. But wow, that thing looks unbelievable. That's fully aired out right there. You can see how much of that wheel's tucking. And like I said, this This is all gonna lay pretty much right on the ground when I finish trimming the inside in there to let the body sink all the way down. It looks killer though, holy crap. Looks so good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the project. It's definitely got some cool style now. It's got front and rear air suspension installed. A lot of the sheet metal cut out. It just looks sweet. Look at that thing. Wow. All right, that's gonna wrap up this video. Definitely got a lot done today. Car looks unbelievably awesome. Super happy with the way it came out. And there's definitely a lot more coming, so make sure that you guys subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments. And this thing's got a lot more to do. I got a lot more to do on this thing, so make sure that you guys subscribe. Appreciate all you guys that have already. And I will see you guys on the next video. Later.